Hello everyone. More soothing words from Fed Chairman Bernanke and a better than expected U.S. durable goods orders figure sent stocks sharply higher overnight in the U.S. And the VIX index fell back down to last week's levels before the Italian election shock. Gold resumed its decline in this risk-on atmosphere, and the dollar lost against most currencies except the yen. Is this a return to the old risk-on equals sell the dollar paradigm? Well, one day doesn't make a trend. It's true, though, that the commodity currencies were particular winners, indicating some return to the typical risk-seeking behavior. The initial shock of the Italian election debacle seems to be fading, and Eurodollar recovered somewhat after Italy managed to sell all the bonds it wanted to yesterday at a higher bid-to-cover ratio than the previous auction. This despite the fact that Mr. Grillo, the leader of the Five-Star Movement, killed off the first attempt to solve the impasse by saying his movement wouldn't give a vote of confidence to a government led by either the center-left or Mr. Berlusconi's center-right party. That doesn't leave many alternatives except maybe another vote, which would mean prolonging the uncertainty. I think this one's going to run and should pressure Eurodollar lower, although I have to admit that today, Italy's CDS rate has tightened in by 8 basis points, and that means a higher Eurodollar. In Japan, speaking of dysfunctional democracies, Prime Minister Abe nominated Asian Development Bank head H. Kuroda to be the Bank of Japan governor, as was widely expected after numerous newspaper leaks. The deputy governors nominated were also as expected. He now has a total dove lineup at the Bank of Japan, and they can get to work printing money at their first policy board meeting in April. I expect that dollar-yen will head back up around then. Euro-yen is a harder call, though. It's a race to the bottom between the euro and the yen, although I'd expect the yen to win for the time being until the severity of the European and Italian situation sinks in. And by the way, in fact, the pound has beaten both these currencies. It's the worst performing currency so far this year. So, given that there are a lot of currencies to sell, which should you buy against them? For now, the commodity currencies may have further to run, as the fundamental news flow in Australia and New Zealand has been favorable too, as well as this risk-on environment generally. The technicals are indecisive there, however. Longer term, I'm bullish on the dollar, despite the looming sequestration. Also, the stocky is a non-combatant in the currency wars and should do well from that point of view. I'd look to buying any of these currencies against the yen, the pound, or even the euro. This is Marshall Gittler, head of Global FX Strategy at IronFX, wishing you solid trading.